So, welcome to today's practice. And this week we'll be looking at our heart chakra. So, a few props are good today. Yoga bricks are always good if you have them, and a yoga bolster is always good if you have one. If not, make do and mend. It's not the end of the world. But what we want to begin with is to have something at the back of our heart. So that might be a yoga brick, and you lie on it almost like a crucifix position. So you have the brick just above your armpits and the arms come out to the side. That's one option. If you have a couple of bed pillows that you can tightly wrap with a towel around them, you can make something perhaps just a little bit more comfortable, like a luxury airliner seat. And then just come to sit down. So leaning back, we want the small of the back to be supported here. Roll open the shoulders and ever so lightly tuck the chin. What we're looking for here is an open heart space. So if you haven't got any props, just lie on the ground and bring your awareness to the center of the heart. So your legs can be crossed like mine are, they can be long, feet together, knees wide. And just welcome yourself here to the yoga mat. So yoga ideally is an act of self-love. It's not a competitive sport, not even with yourself. And today's practice is all about our heart chakra. Anatomically, this relates to our shoulders and a little bit of the neck. And in yoga philosophy, it's the energy center, not just the organ of the heart, but around that space. The element we associate with Anahata chakra is air. So let's bring that air now into its most tangible form by noticing the breathing. Breathing in through the nose. Long exhale out. And when asked what love was, the Dalai Lama replied, the absence of judgment. So as we begin this practice, without any form of judgment, just bear witness to everything that you've brought with you today. Your thoughts, your feelings, sensations in body. And just be aware of what's going on without, again, the need to fix, the need to judge, the need to compare. And we'll begin our practice with a focus on the heart chakra by breathing into that space behind your breastbone. And this breath is called climbing breath. It's a 2-part breath in and a 1-part breath out. So breathe into the center of the chest. Breathe in a little bit more on top. And take a long exhale out. And just do this for 4 to 5 more rounds, just being aware of that space. Let your brain drop into the heart today. One of my favorite quotes is, the mind is a useful tool, but a lousy friend. So acknowledge all thoughts, but just for now, let's be in the body and really savor that, because all day we have to be using the analytical mind. So 3 more deep breaths now, this 2-part breath in, a long exhale breath out. And can you give yourself some thanks for showing up today to practice? It really is an act of kindness. And then just remove whatever it is that you have beneath your heart. And on a practical level, that's really good for us, those kind of shapes, if we sit on a computer all day, because we get kind of quite hunched up. And then just come to lie down on the ground. And you might notice a sense of opening there on your chest. So bring the knees in towards your chest now and just gently rock from side to side. And just notice as we hold on to the knees, as soon as we use the hands, we use our shoulders. So can you keep yours nice and relaxed? And you might be ready all for a happy baby. So holding up the feet, hold on to the big toes, the ankles. And again, just move in a loving way. So that might be circling the legs. It might be circling the knees. What does your body need? And then let's just rock up and down the spine now. So coming up onto your toes, back onto your shoulder blades, up onto your toes, Back onto your shoulder blades. This time, see if you can hover. Hold behind the knees and let the heart lift up between the armpits. Take a deep breath. And then crisscross your legs with the left shin in front of the right. Roll the shoulders back. So a little bit more for the shoulders now. As we inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, open your arms so wide into a cactus shape. And take your right hand on top of the left. So there's not enough full microphone here, so hopefully you can still hear me. Breathe in, lift up your arms and just tuck your chin. And breathe into the shoulder blades now, the wings of the heart. Let the next breath be really expansive. Still keep the front of the heart wide open too if you can. And now drop your shoulders, stay looking forwards as you move your arms to the, where are we? Left. So face is still forward, arms go to the left. And you might just feel a little tug there on the outer left shoulder blade. Can you really feel like you're breathing into that space? And then undo the arms. Take the right hand to the side now and sweep the left arm up and over your ear as you breathe into the left side body. Make sure that right shoulder is not creeping up like an earring. Just allow there to be space there. One more deep breath into the left lung. And let's come all the way up and take it to a twist. Right hand comes across the body, heart rises, and then we turn first from the belly and from the upper chest. And again, breathe into that space behind the breastbone. Notice the right hand. Is it gripping so much now that the right shoulder's tense? And let's come back. And then just re-thread the legs as we do all of that on the side too. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale, cactus your arms out wide. This time, left arm comes in. So breathing in, forearms rise, chin tucks. Breathe into the back of the heart space, or staying as expansive you can in the front. Really use this next breath to clear out anything that feels stuck there. And then head comes up right, head stays forward, move the arms to the right. So a little tug now for the left outer shoulder. And if you're doing this practice early in the morning, our shoulders can often feel very tight in the morning. More breath. Let's undo. This time the left hand comes down and the slightly larger right lung now as we tilt to the side. So breathing into the right lung. Of course, the left lung is accommodating the heart. So just notice one more deep breath. Inhale, we rise and we take it to a twist. So the left hand rests on the knee, but not over grips as we turn to look over the right shoulder. And breathe. And just close your eyes. Remember the quote from the Dalai Lama, the absence of judgment is what love is. So just notice any thoughts that are less than kind towards the body. And now let's come over onto all fours. So hands are how we express our heart in the world. It's how we care for others. So just have a little look at your hands now and spread the fingers really wide. I'm just going to flip the wrists. So you might go out 90 degrees or your wrists might come around 180 degrees and just come forward and back a little bit. Especially press down into the little finger pad. So carpal bone stretch here. They can get really tight if we use a lot of devices. And then let's just pad the hands back under the shoulders. So spreading the hands very wide is going to give us more space for the shoulders. Let's go a little wider today. So we've got lots of space for the heart between the armpits. As we inhale, lifting into cow pose. Exhale, rounding into cat pose. With your breath, just move in this way. Find your rhythm. The breath is even now. Samavriti, equal breath in, equal breath out. So you might choose to stay with this pattern, but again, listening to the body, what does it want to do? Do you need to sway? Do you need to circle? Mary Oliver's poem is the line from it is, let the soft animal of your body do what it loves. So try not to let the mind get in the way, just really feeling what feels nice. And then let's take the hands slightly in a little bit, but lots of space for the heart. As we breathe in, let's take that right leg behind you. As you exhale, tap the upper bicep with the right knee. Inhale, leg comes back. This time, knee to nose. One more of those. Inhale back. Tap to upper bicep. We come back. Knee to nose. And now take that right leg behind you with the toes down and lift your left arm up. And you might stay here, or you might bring your hand to the heart, or you might reach around and find the foot. So no choice is a better choice. Press the foot into the hand as you really lift the heart up. And breathe. And let go. Take the left hand down. Now let's take the right foot to the back of the mat. Slightly bend your left knee and take the foot behind you for support. This is a little bit different now. As you breathe in, circle the right arm. Bend your right knee and tap the right knee. And as you inhale, do a big rainbow shape up and over. Inhale, we bend, just getting into the hips. And we come back up again. Do that one more time. And as we come back this time, let that right arm come over the ear. Reach and breathe into the right lung. Maybe you lift up the right leg. If you lift up the right leg, really kick into the heel. Take a huge breath. Stay here, or maybe you hold the foot again. So this is always going to stretch the shoulder. So you just choose what's best for you and breathe. And sometimes we push ourselves into shapes that we just don't really need to do. So just breathing in and breathing out. And let's land. Right hand comes down, left knee comes round. So I'm just going to whiz round to stay facing the camera. So 2 more rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, heart rises. Exhale, back of heart opens. Inhale, heart rises. Exhale, we open the back of the heart. And now let's take the left leg back. So flex the foot. Exhale, left knee comes to the upper arm. Inhale, left leg extends. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg extends. So one more of each of those. Nice, slow, steady, unhurried pace. And as the left leg comes back this time, let's sweep the right arm up. So again, pause here, hand to heart, or reach around for the foot. And breathe into the whole body. Notice now we're adding the hands if we're now straining at the shoulders. And note the word should is in the word shoulder. We shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. Do what we really, really want to. And now let's come all the way down and take a little rest in child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. And as you take the forehead down, can you take your hands towards the feet? Really create space in the back of the shoulders now as you take 2 full breaths. So tapping back into that air element as we feel the breath in the back body. And perhaps today the loving choice is to stay in child's pose. Perhaps it's to do more cat and cow. Perhaps it's to come into downward facing dog. So let the heart lead the way, not the shoulds. So spread those hands really wide now as you press your heart towards your thighs. You might have the knees bent to begin with, and then slowly pedal out, but really slowly. So one on each side, like you're really taking your time. And pause in downward facing dog. So strengthening the shoulders a bit more now as you come forward into plank pose and stay there. Press the heels back. Just move forward and back a little bit. So we need to use our core here as well. And then let's go back into downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Keep the tummy pulled in. Exhale back to dog. Inhale forward to plank. And this time drop onto your knees as you slowly roll down onto the front of your body. Hands either side of the upper chest now. Roll those elbows back. And as you breathe in, lift your heart. As you breathe out, come back down again. And do a few more of those. Nice, steady pace. Final one, let's linger. As you breathe in, really roll the shoulders back to open the heart and breathe in there. And let's come down again. And from there, a little bend in the knees. Let's come back to downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths. Then come all the way up on the heels, look forward, bend your knees and do a little hop. Or maybe you walk to the front of them. Inhale, lift the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to fold. 2 more. Let all awareness drop into that space behind your breastbone. And now as we come to fold, have a little bend in your knees as you breathe in, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart, close the eyes. And where your thumbs are touching, this is where we want to expand today. So feel the breath creating space there. So we'll get warmed up with a couple of rounds of Surya Namaskar, and then we are going to go a little bit more gentle towards the end of the practice. But with breath now, breathe in, raise arms, raise heart. Exhale, come to a forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, step back with the left leg and drop the left knee. Inhale, rise up, heart lifts, hands spread wide. Exhale, hands come down, downward facing dog. Inhale, forwards into a plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale, down dog. And you might be faster or slower than me. Work with your own rhythm. And that's good for life advice, isn't it? Find your own rhythm. Breathing in, left leg rises. Exhale, left foot comes forward, right knee drops. Inhale, arms lift up. Breathe into the heart. Exhale, hands down, right foot steps in. Inhale, heart rises halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands back to heart center. And once again, breathe where those thumbs meet. Let's go straight on to side two. Inhale, heart rises. Exhale, we come to fold. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, right leg steps back, right knee drops. Inhale, rise up, good pace. Exhale, down, downward facing dog. So you know what comes next. You can come through a vinyasa or you can miss it. Nice. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left foot moves forward, right knee drops. Breathing in, lift up. Exhale, hands down. Back foot comes in to meet the front foot. Breathe in halfway. Exhale to fold. Soft bend in the knees. Let's sweep all the way up to stand. And come back down again. So standing at the top, this is such a lovely stretch. I love doing this. And again, it's for all the muscles around the heart. Breathe in as you take your arms up, and we're really getting a sense of the air in our body here. Hold on to your left wrist and lengthen the spine. Exhale, tilt to the right. And as you get that first pull on your left waist, bounce up a centimetre as you breathe in. And then slowly do a half circle to the ground. Head is heavy at the bottom. Take a breath in. On the exhale, press into the feet and come up the same direction. A half circle to the right. And perhaps close your eyes for the second one. Get a real feeling sense. Breathing in, lengthen. Exhale, tilt to right. Bounce up a centimetre. And as you exhale, continue to the earth. Breathe in at the bottom. Press into your feet. Slowly come back. And just pause at the top. Let the hands come either side of you. And as you breathe in, you might be more aware now of space on the left side. Especially the left back. So we better balance and do that on the other side. Inhale, we rise up. Hold on to the right wrist. Lean to the left. Bounce up a centimetre. And come all the way down to the left. Breathe in at the bottom. On the breath in, we come back up. So one more, I won't say anything this time, just feel as you work through it at your own pace, your own rhythm. And as we come to the top, gaze up to the fingertips and slowly take the hands all the way down. And just take a moment here in mountain pose, Tadasana, feet grounding you. Just roll the shoulder heads back. Close your eyes down and just breathe into the heart space. So coming to our shorter flow practice today, because we're going to do more restore. So breathing in, arms lift up. Exhale, come to a forward fold. Inhale with the heart. Step back to downward facing dog. And press the floor away with your hands as you take your thighs, your hips, your waistline back. Breathing in, right leg rises. Breathing out, knee comes to nose. Inhale, right leg comes back. Breathing in, comes back. Sorry, breathing out, comes back in again. Inhale, right leg comes back. This time, take the right foot between the hands. And we're going to drop our back heel now so the toes come out to the side as we come up into warrior one. So warrior one, make sure there's space for your hip points to step forward. So you might take a wider stance. Press into the left toe, lean back and sweep those arms up towards the sky. 3 breaths here, sinking as deeply as you can into your front knee. One more breath right to the center of the heart. This is a little back bend, so it's a heart opener. And now come forward as you interlace your palms. Roll the shoulder heads back, take a breath in. And as you exhale, come into humble warrior. So the crown of the head goes towards the front instep. Press into the left heel and take 3 deep breaths. Just notice the quality of breath. Is it still smooth? Press into the feet, rise up. I'm going to face you now. Keep your hands in this little fist now as you take the fist to the left waist and take your left elbow back. From there, drop your left ear. So stretching into shoulders and neck now, and just look down to your left foot and then look up to the right diagonal. So just easing into the neck, down to the left foot, up to the diagonal. And then just stay looking at the left foot as you breathe and bend the right knee a little bit more and take 3 deep breaths. Maybe the breath got a little bit lost there. Find a really smooth pattern of breathing. And now let's, from the heart to the fingertips, unravel our arms for warrior two. Gaze forward to that middle finger. Bend into the knee and take 3 breaths. Notice the mind. More importantly, are the thoughts loving thoughts? Inhale, let's reverse our warrior and to stretch the shoulder, take your left fingertips to the right waist and take 3 breaths there, softening around the left shoulder. Slowly come up, straighten your right leg now and lengthen into triangle. So we're reaching as far forward as we can with our right fingers and then the left arm lifts. And press against that right shin to really help you rotate your belly and chest towards the sky. 3 breaths. Look down to the right foot, slowly come up. And now take your hands to your hips as you space the long edge of your mat. Grow tall as you inhale, and then slowly come down to a forward fold. And as you breathe in, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, fold. Do that 2 more times. Breathing in, we lift the heart. Exhale, we fold. Final time. And now just hang here in this forward fold. So in this shape, our heart is in the driving seat, not the head. So just visualize all those thoughts dripping out the top of the skull. And Rumi, the Sufi poet, one of his many quotes about love was, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So all those compliments we deflect, all those mean words that we use about ourselves, just let them all drip out, be back into the heart space. We take our hands to our hips now as we come up halfway, and then all the way up to stand. And just pause at the top, let everything settle. And then finishing on this side, because this is our only standing sequence today, we might come into a half moon. Remember, choose the loving option. You might want to come back into triangle. Or you might have a brick by your foot, lift up the left leg and rotate. So left leg lifts, and same options as we did in our warm-up. You might hold on to your left foot. So you choose. So staying in triangle or coming into the balance. A few breaths. And then we unravel and we land gracefully. Really good. Let's come into our high lunge. And then let's come through our flow. Remember, your flow could be not to do one at all. So coming back to downward dog, maybe coming through a vinyasa. So we're building up heat in this first part. And then we're going to come to long yin restorative holds. So pausing in downward facing dog, find your breath. Breathe away everything that's been and gone. So ready again for a quite intense strength work. Breathing in, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. 2 more. Match your movement with breath. And as our left foot comes forward, we drop the back heel and come up into warrior one. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, bend the left knee without lifting that right foot. And lift your heart now towards the sky as you reach into your fingers. And all we're doing today is breathing into that heart space. So now we come up and we interlace, if you can, the other way to previously. That's just not too baffling. Breathing in, we lift. Exhale, we fold. Tuck the chin, press into feet, breathe into the back of your body. Smooth out this last breath. And slowly, slowly come all the way up. Into the fist now goes to the right waist. Slightly wider stance in the feet. Right elbow comes back. Bend your left knee. And drop your right ear towards the right shoulder. Look down to the right foot. And then look up onto the diagonal. And just do that exploring mobility in the neck today. And then look down to that right foot. Maybe bend the left knee a little bit more and take 3 deep breaths. Notice where the mind always goes. And we come up, we unravel the arms now into warrior two, really opening up the lungs and heart area. 2 deep breaths. So the right arm wraps around the waist and the left arm comes up and over, and breathe. And slowly come up. So we're straightening the leg now as we come into triangle. Our arms are out wide. We cock the right hip back and lean forward with those left fingertips, and then take the left hand down. And just press against the left shin to really help you turn your heart up. And just feel your fingertips reaching for the sky as you breathe. So just mindfully check the shoulders. We can really tense them in poses. Notice that if you're doing that to yours, and take some breath. And then we look down, we bend the knee, we come back into warrior two. Hold on to your hips, feet are forward. Let's come down to a forward again, breathing in. And slowly come down. So again, thinking that the heart knows what it needs, not the mind. Decide if stillness is good for you today, or if you want to move a little bit. Because every day is going to be different. So some days it's really nice just to be still. Other days it isn't. And then come back to stillness, shake out the head. Just gonna add a little shoulder stretch here. Take the right fingers down as you breathe in the left arm. So just listen to this because it's kind of a weird instruction. Take your right thumb as far as you can to the left. And then back as far as you can to the right. So it's like you're unscrewing a thumb jar. Notice what that does to the shoulder. Just do that a few times. And take the left hand down. Just close your eyes between sides, let the energy flow back. And now let's come up onto the left fingertips as we do that to the right. So move the right thumb as far as you can. Sorry, the thumb as far as you can. And the slower we go, the more sensation we tap into there. And bring it all down. Shake out the head. Take a moment to land. Slowly come up, hands to hips, all the way up. Pause at the top, let everything settle. Close your eyes maybe. And breathe into your whole body. And now let's move the left foot forward. So again, we're going to come into half moon balance. So a really nice expansive shape. Choose the most loving variation, which might be not doing it today. So left fingers down, right hands to hip. Maybe you rotate. Maybe you hold the foot. And it's often balances where our more judgy thoughts come up. So just notice those. Press the foot into the hand if you're doing that to stretch the shoulder. Now smooth out the edges of your breath again. And release, gently coming down to warrior two. One more vinyasa now is on offer. You can skip these, of course. So coming through down dog. We're all going to meet at the front of the mat. So flow through one final time. Downward facing dog. And again, you might step, you might hop. Find your way to the front of the mat. Back. Exhale to fold. Soft bend in the knees as you rise up again. Hands to the heart center. And close your eyes where the thumbs are touching again. Find an expansion there as you drop your awareness to this space behind the breastbone. So a challenge now, we're going to come into eagle. We did start with eagle arms in our warm-up. We're standing on the right leg, and you have options here. You can either take a standing pigeon where you flex your foot and take it just in a figure four shape, or you might wrap. So the left thigh crosses the right thigh, possibly the left foot goes around the right ankle. So that's the legs. You can also do this with your feet on the floor. And we take the arms wide and we take our right elbow on top. So coming into that bind. A really tricky balance. So just know that if you're wobbly, it's still an act of love. You're strengthening your ankle bones. 3 breaths. So now stay with that strength. Your leg might be burning now. Lift up your left knee, stay with the bind, and just possibly you'll come into a bound warrior 3. Know the word possibly. It might not be today or this lifetime, but just explore. Just enjoy making shapes. And when you're ready, come out. Wow, my calf is on fire. So see what yours is like. So let's stand back into mountain pose. Notice the flow down that right side of you, the back of the leg. That's what we call energy, chi, prana. So we better balance. Let's stand on our left leg now as we take up the right leg. So same variation. You might prefer to flex the foot, or you might do the double wrap. You might, of course, grab onto your sofa. This time we take always the opposite arm to top leg. So this time we're taking the left arm on top, bind in. And we sink down a little bit and lift the arms a little bit. 3 full deep breaths. Remember, always should. You don't need to do it. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that. Just do what you really want to, what lights you up. That's usually the wisdom of the heart. Let's lift up that right knee now. And maybe we come into the balance. And let's take a really expansive pose, power pose. Open those arms wide. Close your eyes. Feel all the energy moving through you. And really mellow out the breath now. Let's take 3 deep breaths, feeling all that energy, the tingles, the chi, the prana, those signs of life. And bring the hands down. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your tummy, the 2 centers of knowing in the body. as well as the brain, and breathe there. So I'm just going to get my egg timers now because we're going to come into some longer holds. So come to sit down on the ground. And what we're going to do next are yin poses. So they'll be 2 to 3 minutes each, giving us time to really drop a little deeper into the breath. Our first yin pose will be a supported bridge. So this is depending where you've got at home, really. If you've got a brick, you might put a brick underneath your lower back. If you have a bolster, you might put a bolster underneath your lower back. And to come into it safely, rather than just hoiking the hips up, start with your toes roughly on the end of your yoga mat. Lift yourself up and roll back. So in Chinese medicine, the heart meridian runs up the inner arm. So you might have your arms overhead. That gives your shoulders a little bit more of a stretch. Or you might rest your hands on your tummy. So I'm going to come out now while I talk to you. And apparently there was research done in Canada, I think it might have been the 1950s, where many women over 70 couldn't get their arms over their head. And that was because the highest shelf was only here. So that's quite a good reminder why we do this stuff. It's not to do handstands and splits, it's to keep our body mobile, our joints healthy. So we are here for 3 minutes. So deepening the breath, softening. And notice now as we still the body, how very often the brain starts to speed up. So the timer is on, and at the end of 3 minutes, you'll hear a bell, which is your invitation to stay for 3 more deep breaths. And then each breath get a little bit deeper, and you finish with a sigh. There's about 2 minutes left here, so finding the breath. And you might return to the breath we began with, that 2-part breath in, a long exhale out. So just notice where the mind is going to. Is it going to a kind, loving place? And just come back to this next breath. So just a reminder, the bell is going to be rang very shortly. When you hear it, it's 3 more breaths. Let each breath get deeper. Finishing with a sigh. And then do be careful how you come off, especially if you've got a bolster. So try not to lift your hips too high now. As you push whatever it is beneath your back, either towards your heels or take it to one side. So back bends are heart openers. Just be mindful. Everything that might have been shook up to the surface there, and then just come down to lie flat on the back again. And take a breath. So our next pose is for tight shoulders. It's a strange one. It's called double butterfly. What we're going to do is lie to your left and snuggle your right arm underneath you. So the right hand is somewhere towards the shoulder blades. Then the left hand goes behind you to the nape of the neck. So if you are in an active yoga class, I'll just show you facing the camera. It would look something like this. And you might have your fingertips touching, but for the purposes now, you might have the hands miles away. It's much more important that the elbow tips on the ground. We're here for 2 minutes. It's a really good stretch for tight shoulders. So your legs can be as you want them, but I quite like to stretch my hips as well. So I will take my legs in a cross-legged position with the left shin in front. So left arm is top, left shin in front. Make sure your neck and shoulders are okay there on the ground. This is called double butterfly. And we're breathing into where the fingertips would touch. So the center of the heart again. We're here for 2 minutes. Make sure you are being kind to the shoulders here because it is easy to crack them a little bit. And breathe. So again, noticing those judgments that might have crept in. That our shoulders are tight, that somehow that makes us not a good person. Again, noticing all the barriers that we put in the way to receiving love. And that usually starts with our own self-loathing, our own judgments. So we're here for 2 minutes. So if you've done all the practices in this sequences of chakras, you'll remember that the earlier chakras are very much rooted in the earth. We have the roots. We had our hips. We had our belly. So that's all about how we root in the world, how we express ourselves in the world, how we bring action to the things that we dream up, our visions. The heart is much more of a gateway to the upper realm. So the next practices take us to the throat, to the intuitive center of the third eye, and eventually our crown. So one description in shamanic medicine is that the heart is where heaven and earth meet, where they intersect. And when we're balanced here, we're full of love, forgiveness, compassion. If we're out of balance, we might be feeling bitter, angry, resentful, or human emotions, so we don't need to judge ourselves. But if you find your mind drifting, you might simply repeat to yourself, I am loved, I am loving. Take 3 more breaths. And after you've taken those 3 breaths, just unravel a little bit. So not metaphorically, obviously, just undo and then lift up the arms. You might circle the wrists out a little bit. You might do that unscrewing jam jars again, just freeing up the shoulders. And the shoulders are said to be the muscles of burden and responsibility. We carry other people's weight, the weight of the world on our shoulders. So let's change that now. We lean to the right as we snuggle the left arm underneath. And the right hand comes. And I think it's very interesting that the word should is in shoulders, because shoulds are generally things we don't want to do. So let's take the right shin in front this time. And generally we notice that there's such a difference in sides. Wiggle out so that your elbow tips are on the ground. And then come back perhaps to that 2-part breath we began with, climbing breath, breathing into the center of the heart. Breathe in some more. And breathe out. And I'm going to leave you in silence for the next 2 minutes. Again, you might let your mind rest on an affirmation such as I am loved, I am loving. And take 3 more deep breaths. And very slowly come up. And sorry, don't come up, stay on the ground. So I don't know if the microphone picks up. I have a neighbour outside who is shouting in his garden. He goes out there sometimes to let off a little bit of steam. So let's lie on the ground. We're going to finish with a twist, but a really gentle twist. Move your hips a little bit to the left. Bring your knees over to the right. And you might have your knees on a bolster or just on the ground. We're just going to do a little bit for the shoulders here too. So have the left hand initially. Wiggle your right arm as far forward as you can and have the left hand on the right wrist. And as you inhale, rub your hand all the way up the right forearm. Make all that connection to your muscles, your bones, your tissues. Rub that left hand across your heart. And then uncoil the shoulders. You might look towards the left hand there. And as you breathe in, lift your left arm towards the sky now, slowly. And bring the left hand back to the right wrist. Again, we open up. So we're making this human connection with ourselves, the power of touch. The way we express our love to our loved ones is often through the touch, for hugs, caresses. Bring the hands all the way up and over and do that one more time. So showing that love towards ourselves. I'm not so good at doing that, I think. So let the arm come out, look over towards your left hand, soften both of your shoulders now. And we're here for, we have a look at the time, 2 minutes. Deeply, deeply breathing. And inevitably, the mind will continue to drift. So can you keep nudging it back to resting in that heart space? And a nice little meditation I do sometimes is you just breathe in and you focus on your heart and you say, what do you need me to know? We don't race in then to answer it with the mind. We just sit and let that settle. What do you need me to know? Notice what might pop up. And that is the voice of your intuition, which is a little quieter than the mind, but generally much more accurate. Three more deep breaths. And the kindest thing we can do for ourselves now is to stay moving really slowly. Just slowly bring those knees up. Just realign. Find your center point. So the nose is in line with the knees. And then we just slightly move the hips now to the right as we drop the knees over to the left. And then once again, we're really trying to wiggle that left arm as far forward as we can. Let the right wrist rest on the left hand. And then just rub that hand all the way up the arm, across the heart. Open the arm out like a big wingspan. And then breathe in, you lift the arm up towards the sky. And do that same thing. And that can just be a really nice way to uncoil tension in the shoulders. And then you settle in for 2 minutes. Allow the weight of the body to be held by the earth. Let the weight of your shoulders be put down as you stay with awareness in the center of the heart. And another quote from Rumi, there are so many from him on love, was that the heart he described as our moral compass. And what he said was, let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will never lead you astray. But the idea that often the heart knows what the mind doesn't want to always admit. When we can quieten the mind, we can access that deeper wisdom, that inner knowing. And that's that kind of knowing voice that maybe that habit isn't serving you anymore. Sometimes it might be a little nudge leading us towards what will truly make us happy. So about just over another minute here, just breathing. Three more deep breaths. And as quietly as you can, take in yourself to Shavasana. How does your heart tell you you should be in this shape? Do you need to lie on your front? Do you need to lie on your side? Are you comfortable lying on your back? And very consciously place your hands. They might be palms up beside you. That gives you a little space in the shoulders. Sometimes it's comforting to rest them on your body. Try not to let them touch if you're doing that. And then just allow the eyes to soften, to close. And breathe any way that serves you now. Breathing in through the nose. Long, long exhale out. And giving thanks to your body. Gratitude is how we express love towards ourselves for showing up for this practice. The color of Anahata chakra, the heart chakra, is green. You might visualize your breath as this green energy swirling around the heart space, clearing away any emotional debris there. We all put the shutters up here a little bit, so just see if you can just allow there to be a sense of softness. We're here for about another 3 or 4 minutes now, just focusing on breath and body. As you breathe out, totally relax those shoulder blades. Let the arms be heavy. And just rest now, breathing into your whole body, your whole body. And just start to make your breathing slightly deeper. And you might have longer to stay here. That might be just the most loving thing that you can do for yourself right now. If, however, you just carved out that hour, then just eventually make your way up to a comfortable seat. There's no rush. And then we'll finish with one breath in together. So as you inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. And take those thumbs as they touch to your third eye and just pause there. May all our thoughts, thumbs to the mouth, may all our words, hands to heart center, come from our heart. Namaste. Thank you.